In the name of God. From Rejection to Redemption, The Climb of Alex Carter.
Alex sat hunched over his laptop, scrolling through endless job listings, his frustration growing with each rejection email. He had submitted over 50 applications, yet no employer seemed interested in his CV. The job descriptions demanded years of experience, leaving him feeling unqualified. His career aspirations felt distant, buried under a mountain of unemployment stress. His savings were dwindling, forcing him to consider part-time work just to survive. The thought of another interview filled him with dread. What if he failed again? With a sigh, he closed his laptop, wondering if he'd ever find a decent job. Just as he was about to give up, his phone buzzed, a new email notification. His heart pounded as he read the subject: job offer, sales associate. The salary was modest, but the benefits included health insurance and a pension scheme. The contract was full-time, with a starting date in 2 weeks. He hesitated. Was this the right move? The company had mixed reviews, but he couldn't afford to be picky. After a sleepless night, he decided to accept the offer, hoping for stability. On his first day, Alex arrived early, dressed in his only formal suit. The office was small but tidy, with rows of cubicles and a noisy photocopier in the corner. His manager, a stern man named Mr. Harris, barely glanced at him before handing him a training manual. The workload seemed manageable at first, answering calls, updating files, and assisting colleagues. But by noon, he was already overwhelmed by the fast pace. His colleagues were polite but distant, too busy to guide him. As he clocked out, he wondered if he'd made a mistake. By the second week, the overtime demands began unpaid, as per company policy. His boss piled on extra tasks, claiming it was part of the probation period. The working conditions were tolerable, but the pressure was relentless. He missed lunches, skipped breaks, and still fell behind on targets. His salary barely covered his rent, leaving no room for savings. When he asked about a raise, Mr. Harris laughed and said, "Prove yourself first." That night, Alex lay awake, questioning his choices. The discrimination became obvious when he noticed favoritism in promotions. Less experienced employees received bonuses simply for befriending the boss. Alex, however, was criticized for minor mistakes, his confidence eroding daily. The union, weak and understaffed, offered no protection. When he complained about unpaid overtime, he was labeled a troublemaker. His job, once a lifeline, now felt like a sweatshop. He considered quitting, but fear of unemployment kept him trapped. One evening, as he clocked out late again, he overheard whispers about redundancies. The company was struggling, and rumors of layoffs spread like wildfire. His colleague, Sarah, confided that she'd already been fired without warning. Panicked, Alex updated his resume, preparing for the worst. The next morning, HR called him in. His hands trembled as he entered the meeting room. To his shock, they offered him a temporary transfer to another department. Relieved but wary, he accepted, unsure if this was a reprieve or a delay of the inevitable. The new department was worse, chaotic, understaffed, and plagued by poor management. His supervisor, a stressed woman named Lisa, barely acknowledged him. The shift work disrupted his sleep, leaving him exhausted. His tasks were mind-numbingly tedious: data entry, filing, and endless meetings that went nowhere. The workload was unbearable, and his productivity plummeted. When he asked for help, Lisa snapped, "Figure it out yourself." That night, he drafted a resignation letter, ready to escape the misery. But before he could quit, disaster struck. His boss called him into another meeting. This time, the news was final: he was being laid off due to budget cuts. The redundancy pay was meager, barely enough for a month's rent. As he packed his desk, his colleagues avoided eye contact, fearing they'd be next. The job center loomed ahead, another cycle of interviews and rejections. Yet, strangely, he felt relief. This job had been toxic, and now he was free. Back on the job market, Alex refined his resume, emphasizing his newly gained skills. He avoided agencies offering low-wage gigs, targeting reputable companies instead. The interviews were grueling, with employers grilling him about his short tenure. One recruiter, impressed by his communication skills, suggested a consultancy role. The pay was higher, the hours flexible, and the team supportive. For the first time in months, hope flickered in his chest. The new job was everything the last one wasn't: fair wages, respect, and growth opportunities. His manager encouraged teamwork, not exploitation. The office had a positive atmosphere, with colleagues who actually smiled. Training was thorough, not a rushed PowerPoint. His confidence returned, and he finally felt valued. This wasn't just a paycheck, it was a career. The company's structured training scheme impressed Alex immediately, with clear pathways for promotion and skill development. His new colleagues welcomed him warmly during his first team meeting, a stark contrast to his previous workplace. The manager explained the holiday entitlement and sick pay policies transparently, restoring Alex's faith in employers. He was particularly relieved to learn about the health insurance coverage, which included dental care. The working hours were reasonable, with optional overtime paid at 1.5 times the normal rate. As he set up his new workstation, complete with a comfortable chair and dual monitors, Alex felt valued. This environment made him eager to prove himself and grow within the company. Within weeks, Alex discovered the company's performance review system was fair and merit-based. His supervisor provided constructive feedback during their first one-on-one meeting, praising his quick adaptation. The job description expanded slightly as he took on additional tasks, but unlike before, he felt properly supported. The staff restaurant offered subsidized meals, saving him money while allowing him to bond with colleagues. He particularly enjoyed lunchtime conversations about industry trends and career aspirations. The company even offered part-time education support for employees wanting to improve their qualifications. Alex signed up for an evening course in digital marketing, excited to enhance his skills. 3 months in, Alex received his first salary increase, a modest but meaningful 8% raise. The bonus structure was clearly explained, with achievable targets that motivated rather than overwhelmed him. He appreciated how the HR department handled grievances professionally, unlike his previous employer's dismissive attitude. When a colleague experienced family issues, the company granted compassionate leave without hesitation. The work-life balance policies, including flexitime options, showed genuine care for employees' well-being. Alex found himself working harder out of loyalty rather than fear. For the first time, he felt proud to list this company on his CV. The positive environment extended beyond just policies. The company culture fostered collaboration and innovation. Weekly brainstorming sessions encouraged employees to share ideas without fear of criticism. Alex's suggestion to streamline the filing system was implemented, saving the department hours of work each week. His manager nominated him for a training course on leadership skills, hinting at future promotion possibilities. The annual staff survey genuinely influenced company decisions, making employees feel heard. Even the fire drills were well organized, reflecting the company's attention to health and safety. Alex realized how much job satisfaction affected both productivity and personal happiness. As Alex gained experience, he was assigned to mentor a new trainee, marking his growing responsibilities. The apprenticeship program at the company was renowned for producing skilled professionals. Teaching someone else helped Alex recognize how much he'd learned since his own shaky start. He emphasized the importance of timekeeping and attention to detail, lessons hard-won from his previous struggles. The trainee's progress became a point of pride, and Alex discovered he enjoyed the coaching role. His manager noted this aptitude during a performance review, suggesting a potential move into supervision. This possibility excited Alex more than any job offer he'd received before. The company's transparency extended to financial matters too. Quarterly town halls explained the business's health openly. When redundancies affected another department, the process was handled with dignity and generous redundancy pay. This contrasted sharply with Alex's previous experience of sudden dismissals. The CEO personally answered tough questions about the cuts, earning staff respect. Alex realized that while no company was perfect, this one tried to do right by its workforce. The incident made him appreciate his own job security more deeply. He volunteered to help affected colleagues with CV workshops and interview preparation. Alex's growing confidence led him to apply for an internal promotion to team leader. The application process was rigorous but fair, involving a panel interview and practical exercises. He prepared thoroughly, drawing on his diverse work experience from both good and bad jobs. During the assessment, he emphasized lessons learned about employee welfare and efficient processes. To his delight, he was offered the position with a 15% salary increase and additional benefits. The contract included a 6-month probation period, but Alex felt ready for the challenge. His parents framed the job offer letter, prouder of this achievement than any graduation certificate. As a supervisor, Alex implemented changes to improve his team's working conditions. He introduced rotating shift patterns that better accommodated personal commitments. The overtime system became more flexible, with proper compensation that followed labor laws. His open-door policy encouraged team members to voice concerns without fear. When a colleague experienced discrimination, Alex escalated it properly through HR, resulting in swift action. These efforts boosted morale and productivity noticeably within months. The regional manager commended Alex's approach as a model for other teams. After 2 successful years, Alex faced a difficult decision when approached by a recruitment agency. A rival company offered a lucrative director position with impressive benefits and company car. The salary would nearly double his current earnings, solving his lingering student debt. However, loyalty to the company that had believed in him gave Alex pause. He sought advice from his mentor, who emphasized considering long-term career goals over short-term gains. The current company countered with a promotion to department head and a revised compensation package. After careful consideration, Alex chose to stay, valuing the positive work environment over pure financial gain. Alex's decision to stay proved wise when the company launched an innovative profit-sharing scheme. As a manager, he helped design the bonus structure that rewarded both individual and team achievements. The staff turnover rate in his department became the lowest in the company, saving recruitment costs. His initiatives around employee engagement were adopted company-wide, improving overall job satisfaction scores. The CEO invited Alex to join the Executive Strategy Committee, giving him input on major business decisions. At 32, he was the youngest member ever appointed, a testament to his rapid growth. His career trajectory became a case study in the company's leadership program. Personal life milestones coincided with professional success. Alex bought his first home and got engaged. The company's mortgage assistance program and flexible working policies supported these life changes. When his fiancée was offered a job abroad, the company arranged a remote work setup so Alex could relocate temporarily. This work-life balance support strengthened his loyalty to the organization. He documented his career journey in a blog that gained surprising popularity among young professionals. The HR department even used his story in recruitment campaigns, attracting top talent inspired by his progression. Alex realized his struggles early on gave him perspective to appreciate his current success. A major industry crisis tested Alex's leadership when market conditions forced tough decisions. Rather than immediate layoffs, he proposed alternatives like reduced overtime and temporary pay cuts across all levels. The transparency of this approach maintained staff morale despite challenges. Alex personally took a 10% salary reduction, showing solidarity with his team. His creative solutions saved numerous jobs while keeping the department profitable. The crisis actually strengthened team bonds, with colleagues volunteering ideas to cut costs. When the market recovered, the company restored salaries and gave retention bonuses to thank employees for their patience. Alex's reputation grew beyond his company when he was invited to speak at industry conferences. His talks on ethical management and employee retention strategies attracted media attention. A business magazine featured him in their 30 under 35 career achievers list, surprising his old colleagues from the toxic job. Recruitment agencies flooded his inbox with job offers, but he politely declined each one. Instead, he focused on completing his executive MBA through the company's education sponsorship program. His thesis on workplace well-being and productivity drew from both his early struggles and current success. At 35, Alex achieved his biggest milestone yet, appointment as operations director, joining the board of directors. The promotion came with significant responsibilities but also substantial benefits, including stock options. He implemented policies like mental health days and paternity leave exceeding legal requirements. The company's reputation as an employer of choice grew under his influence. Alex made sure to personally welcome every new hire, remembering his own difficult starts. He instituted a buddy system to help newcomers adjust, something he wished he'd had years ago. The workforce surveys showed record-high satisfaction levels in his first year as director. Alex's story came full circle when his old boss from the toxic job applied for a position at his company. Recognizing the name during interview preparations, Alex felt unexpected pity rather than anger. He instructed HR to assess the candidate fairly but thoroughly, with no special treatment either way. The interview panel rejected the application due to poor references and outdated skills. Alex used the experience to reinforce the importance of continuous learning to his team. He also strengthened the company's background check procedures to protect against bad hires. The incident reminded him how far he'd come since those demoralizing days. Now a sought-after mentor, Alex dedicated time to coaching young professionals from disadvantaged backgrounds. He volunteered with job center programs, helping others navigate the employment market. His workshops on interview skills and CV writing drew large crowds eager to learn. Alex particularly emphasized recognizing red flags in potential employers, lessons from his early experiences. He partnered with local schools to deliver career guidance sessions, inspiring students to aim high. These activities gave him fulfillment beyond his corporate achievements. The company supported his outreach, enhancing its community engagement reputation. Industry changes prompted Alex to lead his company's digital transformation initiative. He assembled a task force blending experienced staff with young tech-savvy trainees. The transition wasn't smooth. Some veteran employees resisted changes to familiar routines. Alex addressed concerns through open forums and comprehensive retraining programs. His patience and clear communication eventually won over even the most skeptical colleagues. The successful transformation became another career highlight, with productivity increasing by 30%. Business magazines profiled the project as a model of change management. As Alex approached 40, he reflected on his journey from desperate job seeker to successful executive. The struggles early on had shaped his management philosophy profoundly. He instituted an annual Fresh Start scholarship for professionals rebuilding their careers after setbacks. The company's redundancy support package became an industry benchmark under his guidance. Alex turned down offers from larger corporations, committed to preserving what he'd helped build. His story inspired a wave of ethical business practices among competitors. Yet he remained humble, crediting both good luck and the mentors who'd guided him. On the wall of Alex's office hung two framed documents: his first job offer from the toxic company, and his director appointment letter. They served as daily reminders of how far determination and principles could take someone. When new recruits asked for career advice, he emphasized values over short-term gains. The company now had waiting lists for internships, its culture attracting top graduates. Alex's next goal was grooming a successor to continue the legacy. As he left work one evening, a young job applicant stopped to thank him for inspiration. Walking to his car, Alex smiled. The journey had been worth every challenge. The company's annual leadership retreat marked a turning point in Alex's career trajectory. As operations director, he proposed a revolutionary flexitime policy that would become industry-leading. The board initially resisted, citing potential productivity losses, but Alex presented compelling research. His presentation highlighted how work-life balance actually increased output in trial departments. After heated debate, the CEO approved a 6-month pilot program. Alex personally mentored managers in implementing the new system without disruption. The policy's success would later be featured in Harvard Business Review. Alex's personal life flourished alongside his professional achievements. He married his fiancée in a ceremony where half the guests were colleagues turned close friends. The company's generous paternity leave policy allowed him 3 months off when their first child was born. During this time, he discovered a passion for woodworking, starting a small weekend workshop. His boss surprised him with a custom-made desk for his home office upon return. This gesture exemplified the company culture Alex had helped cultivate. Balancing fatherhood with directorship proved challenging but deeply rewarding. A major industry conference invited Alex to keynote about ethical business practices. His speech on profit through people went viral, attracting LinkedIn's highest engagement that month. Competitors began poaching his staff, forcing Alex to enhance retention strategies. He introduced profit sharing and education benefits that became gold standards in their sector. Surprisingly, Alex welcomed the competition. It pushed him to innovate constantly. His mentor from early days joked that he'd become the recruiter's nightmare. The company's reputation as an employer now preceded its market achievements. The digital transformation Alex spearheaded faced its toughest test during a cybersecurity breach. Hackers targeted their systems, threatening sensitive employee and client data. Alex worked 72 hours straight with the IT task force to contain the damage. His transparent communication with staff during the crisis prevented panic and morale drops. The incident prompted massive training investments in data security across all levels. Alex's calm leadership through the storm earned him new respect from skeptical board members. The company emerged stronger, with the most secure systems in their industry. Alex's community outreach programs gained national attention when featured in a business ethics documentary. The film crew followed his Second Chances initiative, hiring ex-offenders, showing remarkable success stories. This caused brief controversy among conservative investors but ultimately enhanced their brand. Local universities began partnering with Alex's internship programs, creating a talent pipeline. His HR director reported a 40% increase in quality applications after the documentary aired. Alex used this platform to advocate for criminal justice reform in corporate circles. The company's expansion into European markets presented Alex with his greatest leadership test yet. Cultural differences caused friction between headquarters and new subsidiaries. Alex insisted all managers complete intercultural training before the launch. He implemented a buddy system pairing veteran and new international employees. Monthly virtual idea exchanges helped blend diverse perspectives into innovation. After a rocky start, the European division became their most profitable within 2 years. Alex's passport filled with stamps as he became a transatlantic troubleshooter. At 42, Alex faced his first serious health scare: exhaustion-induced pneumonia. His doctor ordered 3 weeks of complete rest, unprecedented in his career. The CEO personally called to enforce the sick leave, threatening suspension otherwise. Forced inactivity gave Alex painful clarity about his workaholic tendencies. He returned with strict boundaries, leaving the office by 6 p.m. except for emergencies. To his surprise, productivity improved as he delegated more effectively. The experience reshaped his management style, making well-being non-negotiable. The company's 25th anniversary gala became Alex's most emotional professional moment. His mentor, now retired, presented him with the Founders Award for Culture Stewardship. Alex's acceptance speech credited every department, from reception to warehouse, for their shared success. He announced a new scholarship honoring his first boss who'd believed in him. The evening culminated with the board approving Alex's proposal for an on-site childcare center. Driving home, Alex realized this company had become his life's work as much as his workplace. A recessionary economy forced difficult redundancy decisions that tested Alex's principles. Rather than across-the-board cuts, he implemented voluntary early retirement packages first. Remaining staff took temporary 10% pay cuts, with executives sacrificing 20%. Alex sold his company car and suspended his bonus to lead by example. These measures saved hundreds of jobs while competitors collapsed. When recovery came, restored salaries included loyalty increments. The crisis cemented Alex's reputation as a leader who put people before profits. Alex's community college invited him to teach a night course on ethical business practices. What began as a side project became his most fulfilling achievement. His students, single parents, career changers, and unemployed veterans reminded him of his own struggles. Several interns from his class joined the company, bringing fresh perspectives. The local newspaper featured his street MBA program helping disadvantaged entrepreneurs. Alex found himself skipping board meetings to attend student presentations, a shift in priorities his CEO surprisingly supported. The sudden departure of their CFO thrust Alex into unfamiliar financial territory. Though lacking formal qualifications, his operational insight proved invaluable during the transition. Mornings spent with accounting teams gave him unexpected appreciation for their complex work. Alex discovered hidden inefficiencies that saved $2 million annually when addressed. This experience inspired him to finally complete that long-postponed MBA. At graduation, his teenage children cheered loudest. Their father now had the diploma his career never required. A family tragedy temporarily derailed Alex's momentum when his father suffered a stroke. The company granted indefinite compassionate leave, covering all medical costs beyond insurance. Alex spent 3 months helping rehabilitation, realizing how little he'd prioritized family before. Returning to work, he instituted family crisis protocols others could now use. His vulnerability during this period unexpectedly deepened team bonds. Productivity dipped briefly but rebounded higher as loyalty reached unprecedented levels. The experience taught Alex that true leadership sometimes meant showing weakness. Industry analysts began speculating about Alex's future CEO material. Flattered but cautious, he carefully observed the current CEO's leadership style for lessons. They developed an unspoken mentorship, preparing Alex for potential succession. When headhunters called about CEO roles elsewhere, Alex politely declined each approach. His mentor advised patience, the right opportunity would come in time. Meanwhile, Alex focused on mastering every department's operations, often working frontline shifts to stay grounded. Alex's European division pioneered a 4-day workweek experiment that made global headlines. Initial skepticism gave way to amazement as productivity rose 22% with happier staff. Other regions clamored to adopt the model, creating logistical nightmares. Alex's team developed customized transition plans for each department's unique needs. The union initially resisted but became staunch supporters after seeing results. Academics studied the case as revolutionary workforce management. Alex found himself testifying before Parliament about future of work policies. At 45, Alex received the call he'd secretly anticipated. The board wanted him as next CEO. The current leader was retiring after 15 transformative years. Overwhelmed, Alex walked the factory floor all night considering the responsibility. His wife reminded him how he'd guided hundreds of careers, now he could shape thousands. Accepting meant relocating headquarters, uprooting their settled life. After a weekend retreat with his original mentor, Alex said yes with one condition: keeping their suburban office as innovation hub. Alex's CEO transition coincided with their biggest acquisition yet, a struggling competitor. The integration challenge dwarfed anything in his experience. Thousands of anxious employees awaited his decisions about their futures. Alex's first act surprised everyone, a company-wide livestream pledging no redundancies for 2 years. He instituted culture ambassadors from both firms to blend the best of each. The risky move paid off as merged teams outperformed projections within months. Financial papers dubbed it the merger with a heart. As CEO, Alex faced his first strike when warehouse workers demanded better conditions. Rather than fight the union, he joined them on the picket line for an hour daily. This unconventional approach shocked both sides into earnest negotiations. The resulting contract became an industry model for fair wages and benefits. Alex's willingness to listen to frontline workers became his trademark leadership style. The strike that could have crippled them instead strengthened the entire organization. Even critics admitted this was management reimagined. Alex's community college course evolved into a fully funded leadership institute. The curriculum blended hard skills with ethics and emotional intelligence training. Fortune 500 companies sent executives to learn the Alex method of people-first management. His original students now ran successful businesses that partnered with his corporation. The Institute's Second Chance program for ex-offenders achieved an 80% employment rate. Alex considered this his most enduring legacy beyond quarterly reports. The pandemic tested every principle Alex had built his career upon. Overnight, he transitioned 85% of the workforce to remote operations. Rather than layoffs, he repurposed idle staff into community support roles. The company produced PPE, delivered groceries for vulnerable customers, and offered free training to struggling small businesses. These efforts cost millions but cemented their reputation as corporate citizens. When vaccines arrived, Alex organized the fastest workplace rollout in their state. Crisis again revealed the company's character and Alex's. Post-pandemic, Alex championed permanent hybrid work models against board resistance. He proved remote teams could maintain productivity while improving work-life balance. The policy attracted top talent globally, solving their recruitment challenges. Office spaces transformed into collaboration hubs with hot desking systems. Alex himself worked from home every Wednesday, setting the tone from the top. Commercial real estate partners initially balked but adapted to the new paradigm. Industry analysts declared this the final death knell for traditional 9-to-5 culture. At 50, Alex surprised everyone by announcing his retirement plans. Having achieved all his professional goals, he wanted to focus on philanthropy and family. The board pleaded for 5 more years, offering unprecedented compensation packages. Alex compromised by agreeing to stay until his successor was properly groomed. He established a rigorous leadership program to identify potential candidates. Meanwhile, he began quietly transferring responsibilities, ensuring a smooth transition. The business press speculated endlessly about who could fill his shoes. Alex's final year as CEO became a victory lap of accolades and milestones. The company hit its first $10 billion revenue mark while topping best workplace lists. His mentoring of the new COO ensured continuity of their culture. At the annual gala, employees presented a video tribute spanning his entire career journey. Even his first toxic boss sent a congratulatory note admitting his mistakes. Alex struggled to maintain composure as the standing ovation lasted 11 minutes. Retirement brought unexpected challenges for the always busy executive. Alex initially drove his wife crazy reorganizing home systems with corporate efficiency. His community work expanded through the Leadership Institute and new charitable foundations. He joined 2 boards of socially conscious startups, offering hard-won wisdom. Monthly Ask Alex sessions with young entrepreneurs became his favorite activity. Yet he strictly avoided interfering with his former company's new leadership, a promise he kept despite temptations. 5 years post-retirement, Alex's legacy proved enduring. The company maintained its culture while adapting to market changes. His Leadership Institute trained over 10,000 professionals across industries. The business school case study about his career became their most requested. Yet Alex took most pride in small moments. A former trainee now running a department, or a worker's thank you for tuition support. These human impacts mattered more than any bonus or award ever had. A health scare at 60 forced Alex to confront mortality. His emergency surgery and recovery gave new perspective on life's fragility. He downsized commitments to focus on family and passion projects. The Leadership Institute was gifted to his most promising protégé. Alex finally wrote that memoir everyone had pestered him about, donating proceeds to vocational training programs. His definition of success now centered on relationships rather than achievements. The company's 50th anniversary brought Alex back as guest of honor. Seeing fourth-generation employees thriving in the culture he'd shaped overwhelmed him. His original mentor, now 85, joked that Alex had far surpassed his wildest expectations. The current CEO announced the Alex Grant for innovative workplace initiatives. Walking through the headquarters he hadn't visited in years felt like stepping into a living legacy. That night, Alex told his grandchildren about the scared job seeker he'd once been. At 65, Alex divided time between consulting, grandparenting, and wilderness hiking. He refused all board seats but advised social enterprises pro bono. Former colleagues often sought his counsel during their own career crossroads. His TED Talk on meaning beyond money resonated globally with late career professionals. The simple woodworking hobby he'd begun decades earlier now filled his garage with custom furniture. Each piece carried the same attention to detail he'd once applied to corporate strategy. The industry's Lifetime Achievement Award ceremony surprised Alex with video messages from every phase of his career. His first trainee, now a managing director, credited Alex for seeing potential others missed. The CEO of their European division recalled how Alex's faith in him changed his life. Even the receptionist from his darkest job days appeared, thanking him for kindness she'd never forgotten. Alex's acceptance speech emphasized that true success comes from lifting others as you climb. Alex's memoir unexpectedly became a bestseller, inspiring a new generation of leaders. Business schools added it to required reading alongside classic management texts. He donated all royalties to fund apprenticeships for underprivileged youth. Interview requests poured in, but Alex preferred small group discussions at local libraries. His story proved particularly powerful in job centers, giving hope to discouraged seekers. What began as personal reflection became a movement redefining workplace humanity. Now in his 70s, Alex enjoys quiet mornings watching sunrise over the lake house he finally had time to enjoy. His calendar has more blank spaces than entries, a luxury once unimaginable. Former employees still visit, sharing how his leadership shaped their lives. The company he built remains an industry beacon of ethical practices. Alex's grandchildren know him more for his terrible fishing jokes than corporate triumphs. Yet when asked about his proudest achievement, he smiles. Showing up as my best self, day after day. The framed job offer from that first toxic company still hangs in Alex's study, beside photos of milestones and family. Visitors often ask why he keeps such a painful reminder. Alex explains it represents the choice we all have to become what hurt us, or heal and do better. His journey from desperate applicant to transformative leader wasn't about brilliance or luck, but daily decisions to lead with humanity. As afternoon light filters through the window, the old man smiles at the scared young job seeker he once was. Somewhere out there, another Alex is scrolling through listings, unaware of the extraordinary journey ahead. The story continues.
Like and subscribe if you would like.